right, y'all. Hey, welcome back to another video with Triple and Dismissed.
What are we
Jeff
chatting
and
about
Candace,
today?
if you don't know, I'm still doing my intro.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
If this is your first time watching the video, that's Jeff and I'm Candace. And today we're talking about the cost of RVing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about
How we got
much it
into
costs. Oh, go ahead.
how I got into our rig, the setup, and that kind of stuff. Because somebody commented a sweet comment about they need to hit the lottery. I think it was.
Yeah.
Hit the lottery to RV. You don't. So we're going to tell you a little bit about our setup and experience and costs and whatnot, and we'll have that also in the description. I will let y'all know that I told Jeff to write some notes, like an outline. So we'll see how he does listing off the things. Y'all know I usually chime in and fill in the gap, but we'll see how he does.
Wow, way to put me on blast.
Yes.
So we started this RVing journey actually we started it in a rented RV, but we won't talk about that. But we started it in a 2013 Cedar Creek that we bought for $36,000 and a 2016 F350 that we bought for $65,000. So roughly $100,000 into the whole deal. We were making payments on both. The monthly expenses weren't that bad. The truck payment was kind of pricey, but all in all, not too bad. With that rig, we did a mixed camping style of boondocking and camping, but mostly camping. And when I say camping, I mean in a campground where we have hookups. But we carried a generator and we were able to boondock when we needed to. And we expanded to harvest host and all that. So that was our first rig. And that was 5 years ago. So those prices, unfortunately, are gone. And I don't know if we'll ever see those prices again unless you go much older. But due to the economy and inflation and all that, the prices and the popularity of RVing, the prices kind of got out of hand. So that was a decent rig, right?
Which one?
The Cedar Creek and truck.
Oh, yeah.
Why did we switch?
We switched to, well, wait a minute. First of all, did you give how much it cost?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you pay attention?
I don't, yeah, I got a lot on my mind. I just got done doing some work, and so, but okay.
When Jeff talks, this is what Candace hears. Wah, 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 wah. And vice versa. But anyways.
I zoned off for a minute, y'all. I'm here, I'm back.
Okay.
So why did we switch? So we'll take it into there. Before I go into that, if y'all got any questions more about the Cedar Creek,
It was a good trailer.
let us know in the comments. We'll dive deeper. Did you talk about anything we added? Did we add anything to that?
No, we added stuff to it, but that's not the subject of this video. I'm trying to stay on point.
Oh, is he?
Ramble.
He got it in his head, huh? Apparently. Okay, y'all. All right, so we wanted to eventually switch to a rig to separate the office, our work. We both still work. I'm in fitness and strength and nutrition. That is what my business is, online. And Jeff is still working a 9 to 5. So looking around, we was in the Cedar Creek. It was just like the living space, and the office was at the back, where a toy hauler is what we have now, is where our office was, and it was always like we were on. Plus, I was new into business online, learning the ins and outs of that. So it felt like I was always at work. So we wanted to find a rig that could separate life and work. And here you have it. We are in a DRV JX 450 full house. I didn't say it in the right order, but y'all get the point.
It's good enough. So we decided we wanted a toy hauler, and if you go look at toy haulers, you'll see that most of them have really poor living space, and they're focused on being a toy hauler. So we found one, and it's the DRV JX 450 that had really good living space and a 10-foot garage. Not big enough for a lot of toys, but big enough for an office. And the nice bonus was that the floor plan almost, other than the back couch that we were using for our office area, the floor plan pretty much mimics the Cedar Creek that we had, which we liked. So we started searching for these, and we even had a couple dealers that we were doing new builds with, just in case we couldn't find a used one. At the time, this was 2.5 years ago, actually 3 years ago when we started the search, you could not find these things used. Now you can find maybe 5 or 10 of them used on the internet, but at the time, if you found one, you better jump on it right now. So we looked and looked and looked and looked, and we had a couple deals fall through. Long story on both of them. Be careful with the RVs that you're buying. Pay an inspector, but also do a good thorough inspection yourself, because an inspector will let you down. So we were looking, and we were really looking, and this one popped really right down the street from us, 100 miles from us. And we'd already investigated this one a year prior when it was sold from its original owner. So we ran down there like immediately and put a deposit on it. And this RV, believe it or not, and granted it had its issues. We've had to put some work into it, but we only paid $80,000 for this RV. So when you think that you have to spend a ton of money, which right now you kind of do maybe, if you don't look and look and look.
Go used. Long story short.
Buy used. The new ones that we were looking at was roughly $135,000. So we saved $50,000 by buying used and dealing with a couple issues. But you got to be ready to go if you're really looking for a deal. If you're not looking for, if you're not ready to go, those deals will disappear quickly.
Very quickly.
Like I said, we bought this. We had a deposit check on this within 4 days of it being advertised.
Yeah.
That's how fast we went. So really, if you see a deal, jump on it, be ready to go now, and know what you're looking for if you want to get a good deal. Otherwise, you'll end up having to spend the $50,000 extra and buy a new one. And now, I think the new ones are going for 150-ish if you get a good dealer. And that's the other thing. If you want to buy a new one, find the dealers that are giving the big discounts. Don't go to Explore USA and pay the MSRP. If you pay MSRP, even in this market, you are getting screwed. But understand that the price has gone up quite a bit. So that's our trailer story. And then we took the trailer, other thing. So we liked the white interior, which you couldn't get at the time. You can now, but we took the trailer and we painted it. We modified the office a little bit. We modified a couple things in it and added some stuff to it. And that was mostly sweat equity. There wasn't really a whole lot of money involved. We spent about $500 on the painting supplies and other stuff. So mostly sweat equity. And then the last thing we did on the trailer to make it more suitable for us, and this may or may not work out for you, is that we put solar on it. And we put a pretty hefty investment in solar on the trailer so that we'd have really the maximum flexibility, because we don't like camping in campsites that often. If you can hear the background noise here, that's one of the reasons. You can see that we got a pretty good view off the back of us. However, we are literally 20 feet on both sides from our neighbors.
Yep.
And it was kind of a rough time getting in here, but we don't really care for campgrounds that much, so we invested in solar.
They got good space.
Yeah. So the solar investment, I did the work myself, but you can round it off to about $10,000 after tax credits and all that. So that is not required. All you really need to boondock is a generator. We got an $800 generator that does just fine for boondocking. We did that in our Cedar Creek, so not the huge investment that you'd think it is to boondock. So in our trailer, we've got about $90,000 invested, roughly.
Yep.
And it's a very nice trailer. Now, we did spend some money on maintenance. We spent another $3,000 on maintenance. We had a roof replaced by insurance, but that was insurance, so roughly $90,000. Anything else to add to the trailer cost?
No, it was a good deal. It was a steal.
Yeah.
It was even cheaper than the one we looked at in Lazy Days, right?
Well, that one was cheap, but it had like $20,000 worth of work to do to it.
Yeah. So, it was less than the one we found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was 2 years older, and every slide floor in it was rotted.
Rotted. So that's some. Not really. I think you covered the cost, the cost of us finding it. Next up
next up is the truck.
Is the truck.
So we started out with a 2016 F350 that we paid $65 for. We upgraded that to a 2017. That's a long story in and of itself.
Another video.
Yeah, totally different video, but we ended up paying about $75 for it. And those payments were actually bigger than the RV payments, as most people run into. And it just did an okay job at towing this behemoth. This is a heavy trailer. So I decided I wanted a heavy duty truck. And it was like a 2-year process to get to that point. And one thing led to another. We found an off-market truck. The guy, he never advertised it. And me and him just kind of struck up a rapport. And after, it was about a year of talking back and forth here and there, going on market, off market, on market, and off market. After a year, I finally bought that truck back there for $19,000. Again, not likely to happen in this day and age. You're probably looking at more like $30,000 with the current state of the market, but we only paid $19,000 for the truck. With that being said, I put $2,500 for the tires on it, $3,000 worth of maintenance and repairs in it, and then put that big black box on the back of it, which was another $4,000. So all told, we are really in it at about $30,000, but that's after the necessary repairs and everything that you do when you buy a used vehicle. So if you were to buy a semi right now, probably $30,000 to get into it on a decent one, and then another $5,000 to $10,000 getting it up to speed. So $40,000-ish. So we got really lucky. It just, timing of the market worked out well for us on both the RV and the truck, and now we're in it at a pretty decent rate. Now, the Jeep we got a decent deal on, but not a great deal on. But
you don't have to have a Jeep.
Yeah, you don't have to have a Jeep, and the cost of Jeeps has gone up too. So
yeah.
So anyways, long story short is that all told, with our trailer and truck and solar, we're at about $120,000-ish. And we're comfortable with that. We didn't spend a ton of money, and we're good.
Yeah, we didn't break the bank.
Yeah, so you don't have to break the bank. You just have to work hard and look hard and be ready to go when a deal presents itself. Anything else to add about the cost of RVing?
Oh, well, I guess the equipment, right? That's more what we talking about. The RV, the vehicle, the house on wheels.
The RV portion of it.
The RV.
Now, one thing I will add on the cost now that I'm cutting her off is that when we boondock, we save anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a month on boondocking, on campground fees, depending on where you're at. It used to be not that hard to find a base spot for like $22 a night and $450 a month. Now you can still find that, but it's harder, and there's fewer of them. It's hard to find a good deal on an RV spot. So boondocking really saves us a lot of money every month that we do it. So anyways, go ahead.
Well, that's what I was going to go to next. We talked about the RV, the truck. Boondocking saves a lot of money if you are military, or I guess DOD or whatever. Now, because they allow DOD, you can save money staying in military campgrounds. So that's the other way to not break the bank. Boondocking not break the bank. What else did you have? That's pretty much. The
last thing I had is, because we mentioned it as we were going through here, is the white cabinets. So we did a big blog about the white cabinets.
Doing your interior, changing it, because they are, unless you find with the, before you go, if you're fine with the brown and the darkness of these rigs, newer ones are better, like you said, you will invest. It's an investment to change up your rig and make it home. We live here, and that's what I wanted. So if anybody got anything smart to say about white, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
So
go ahead.
Well, on that number, we went with white cabinets, and we still need to do some more white in our bedroom because they're still brown. But anyways, we went with white cabinets, and we kind of wanted to see how they held up. And it's been 2 years since we painted them initially, and they could have cured longer, which would have probably stopped some of the wear that we saw. And by cure, I mean been in the trailer with the paint drying longer before we moved into it. But the high wear areas, like behind the handles, there was wear behind there where the paint had actually worn off. So I spent about 5 hours this week touching it all up. It actually touched up really nice. It looks almost like a brand new set of cabinets again. And so if you do paint your cabinets, it doesn't matter how much, well, maybe it does matter. Maybe you can put more prep into it than we did. But plan on every year or two spending 5 hours-ish or more or less. It depends on what you do. I removed the handles and whatnot. 5 hours to just do a little touch-up and make them look fresh and clean. But just that little bit of touch-up made a world of difference in the way they looked. So that's our update on our white cabinets. If you do some remodeling in your RV.
And you don't got to do white. You can do any other color that strikes your fancy.
Yeah, we've seen blue, gray,
Yeah.
white, yellow.
Yep.
We've seen all kinds of colors.
Yep.
So that's our update on the cabinets. And I think that's really all we're going to talk about, is that you don't really have to win the lotto or have a ton of money. Granted, we are in this a little bit more than some people are comfortable with. The other thing you can do is just buy older.
Yeah.
As long as you look for a well-maintained vehicle, well-maintained trailer, you can get older. In fact, that truck back there is a 2001.
Yeah.
So,
good mention.
it's a 20-year-old truck.
Yep.
And still doing fine. It has yet to leave us stranded on the side of the road.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's
We did the white
it.
cabinets. Most of it's been pretty good, but right there behind the handles was starting to wear and turn brown. And you can see that I rolled on a layer of the white paint on there. It matched pretty good, and even for a roller you can see, and there's a little bit of texture, but not really anything. I mean, this is 6 inches away from the cabinet, so nothing really that's visible from normal viewpoint. And if we go over here, you can see this is the cabinet that was the worst, and it had really worn there because that's the trash bin. It had really worn on the top. In fact, the whole top was all patchworked and brown and had chipped off and peeled off. So we fixed that. So that's how our white cabinets are holding up. You can look over here and you can see the other pantry cabinets that tend to get beat up a little bit. These cabinets get ran into a lot. And just a quick little coat of touch up. So I would say that if you go with white cabinets, plan on having some level of touch up at some point. This is the entrance where we had some wear going on, but like I said, maybe 5 hours at most of touching up, and we're good.
I thought we would have more cost stuff, but
Well, there's a lot of cost stuff, but this is the cost of the rigs.
the rig. So maybe if y'all got any other questions on pricing, costs, specifics, what's the investment in certain things, hit us up in the comments, and we'll make another video or answer you back, of course.
Yeah.
So that's it, man.
Ring the bell, subscribe.
Oh yeah, he can say it. See, he just said it all, y'all.
No.
Show us
spot.
some love. No. He always take over, like y'all always hear him say, all right in the beginning. But anyway, so give us a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. Share it with someone. Let someone know that you don't got to break the bank to get into RVing. And make sure you turn that bell on. We are a bit more consistent with our video.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit more.
We're not trying to set expectations too high yet. So, every week or two.
Yep. And yeah, like, comment, sub, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you for watching.